Up next, we'll have Kelly introduce today's program. Come on up, Kelly.
Well, this is a very special meeting. The four-way test is one of the world's most widely printed and quoted statements of business ethics. It was created in 1932 by Rotarian Herbert Taylor, who later served as the Rotary International president when he was asked to take charge of a company that was facing bankruptcy. So he created the four-way test. In 1943, Rotary adopted it, and it's been translated in more than 100 languages and published in thousands of ways. It is nonpartisan, non-sectarian, ethical guide for Rotarians to use for their personal and professional relationships. So let's read it so we all know what we're talking about today. The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And subsequently, we've added the fifth one, which the students won't be doing. Is it fun? And that's why we are here today. The speech contest is designed to introduce high school students to Rotary and the four-way test by creating interest through a competitive speaking engagement contest. Winners here today will be announced at the end of the program, so please stay. We'll give them their checks. The top participant will continue on to the district conference that President Rachel was telling us about, and they will present at noon on Saturday, May 17th for cash prizes of $3,500, $2,000, and $1,500. We have sent a winner the last 3 years, so we have big hopes for these students. No pressure, guys. Mark your calendars now to attend the district conference in Grants Pass. So with that, let's get the competition started with speaker number 1.
Okay, thank you. Imagine, let's see. Imagine, hold on. We get my timer. I'm getting too excited here. Imagine living in a neighborhood where the nearest grocery store is many miles away. Fresh produce is a luxury, and dinner often comes from a gas station. This is the reality for millions of people trapped in America's food deserts, urban and rural areas where access to nutritious, affordable food is nearly impossible. My name is Gavin Guyette, and today I would like to discuss how this crisis holds up to the Rotary's four-way test. First, is it the truth? When most people think about food insecurity, they believe we've largely solved the problem. And while this is true, little thought has been given to the type of food people are actually consuming and its long-term consequences. According to the USDA, nearly 40 million Americans live in low-income areas without easy access to a grocery store. Studies show that residents of these food deserts suffer from obesity, diabetes, and heart disease at far higher rates, not because they lack willpower, but because they lack options. In fact, we have a local example right nearby in Chiloquin, Oregon, a rural town in Klamath County. With no full-service grocery store, residents must travel nearly 30 miles to Klamath Falls for fresh food. For those without reliable transportation, there is one convenience store and 2 gas stations, primarily stocked with unhealthy, convenience store foods. When I went to Chiloquin last summer, I went to that one convenience store, and I was shocked they had a couple pineapples. I picked a pineapple up. It was completely rotten. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's a health crisis. But these food deserts aren't just rural areas without proper food offerings. They can also be urban areas where healthy foods are simply too expensive. Now imagine a Whole Foods in New York. The options are great, but many are just simply too expensive for the average family to afford. The truth is, this problem is real and it's harming communities every single day. Now, second, is it fair to all concerned? There's nothing fair about a system where fresh food is a privilege. While some neighborhoods enjoy farmers markets and organic choices, many families rely on corner stores stocked with processed, high sodium and high sugar foods. Just think about it. How often do you reach for the junk food in the pantry rather than maybe the vegetables? oftentimes just because it's convenient. It's habit, you know? And children in these food deserts are more likely to develop health problems simply because their families can't access the same resources as others. This inequality is unacceptable. And beyond the health concerns, food insecurity creates an uneven playing field for children. A student who eats a breakfast of highly processed sugary food may struggle to focus in school, while another child with access to fresh, balanced meals has the concentration and the skills to last them throughout the day. Over time, these differences will add up, impacting academic success overall. This unfair system also affects local economies. When communities lack full-service grocery stores, the dollars that could be spent supporting local businesses instead go to larger retailers in distant cities. Think of the Walmart in Klamath Falls, where the people of Chiloquin have to go to. That money leaves the community, pulling resources away from the very people that need it most. And the cycle continues. Fewer businesses invest in these areas, leaving residents with even fewer options. Food deserts don't just impact individuals, they impact entire communities. Now, third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Absolutely, but only if we take action. Programs like urban gardens, mobile markets, and community-supported agriculture have already begun to bridge the gap. Now, going to my example of Chiloquin, Oregon. A study by Oregon State University conducted from 2012 to 2018, where they showed hundreds of community members, things like gardening, bread making, and culinary arts, showed that 94% of the participants claimed that they knew more about where their food came from after going through the program. 33% said that they would implement what they had learned into their daily life. And cities like Detroit have even transformed abandoned parking lots into thriving gardens, proving that when a community comes together, change can truly happen. Possibly the easiest step we can take is education, teaching our youth about the need to consume proper foods, even if it's not as convenient. If you ask me, food and nutrition classes should be a fundamental part of the education system. If people in food deserts begin demanding healthier food rather than just accepting what's sitting in front of them, then stores will make a change. Government action must also be considered. Things like labeling of some foods, supporting subsidies of healthier foods, and even looking at incentives and banning addictive and unhealthy food additives. These are all things that can be done, and supporting these initiatives provides healthier food and strengthens neighborhoods, fostering connections between the farmers of the real, healthier food, the store owners, and the community residents. Now, finally, is it beneficial to all concerned? Everyone wants to feel happy and healthy, and everyone should have the right and at least the opportunity to be healthy, no matter where they live. Solving these food deserts benefits everyone. Healthier communities means lower healthcare costs, stronger local communities, and better educational outcomes for our children. When people have access to nutritious food, they are healthier, happier, and more productive. Investing in solutions now ensures a brighter future for all of us. In summary, food deserts are a solvable problem. And by applying the four-way test, we see that access to healthy food is a matter of truth, fairness, goodwill, and benefit to all. It's time we stop treating fresh food as just a nice thing to have and start making it an actual priority in our communities. The question is, what can we do today to be part of the solution? Thank you.
Okay, can we have contestant number 2, please?
Sorry. This speech is dedicated to how deportation done to divert possible risks of immigration issues and possible attacks or risks of all kinds. This speech, this speech is dedicated towards a idea of a different solution towards this enforceable action, because deportation can cause suffering on a larger scale that I don't think anyone thinks about. And so, beginning with my introduction, I will put you in place to understand the grander scheme, and then I will reveal the full picture. So, childhood is a time of no worries and full payoffs. We all have those memories of childhood and how they make us feel, and that is a feeling that is well known by all on the grand scale to be felt by all. But as today, children are going through better ways of childhood and many different ways to remember it by. But there is one scenario where I want you to put yourself in these shoes. So, deportation can disrupt lives on a bigger scale than we think. Starting off, despite all the grand work, all of the dedication, all of the time, parents who are undocumented immigrants can be deported back to their home country, and with all of that work going and amounting to nothing, their children remembering them by their deportation. Then the children who are left in America will have to deal with depressing thoughts, trauma, and possibly post-traumatic stress from an event that can come like this. So, not to mention, there is the parents who will stay with the child who will have to deal with losing their partner and having to become the sole provider and supporter for their family, which in this economy is more than a nightmare. And so, in conclusion, or not conclusion, in this point, deportation can cause more trauma, more diversion from what should go. And so it can lead to worse outcomes for families across the United States. So revealing the big picture, there is a cycle that is going on that no one thinks about where it inspires violence, injustice, and not to mention a lot of of death. So I will list two examples, and this will show my point, and then I reveal point. Anyway, so Guantanamo Bay is designed to limit risk of possible attacks from different continents and countries, namely Afghanistan or the Middle East specifically. But as of 2002, shortly after 9/11, 22 Afghanistan people were taken into Guantanamo Bay, even though they were little more than children, simply for no reason and more so out of suspicion. And in 2021, majority of them were released, but some could not because they had died in Guantanamo. This inspires one thing that will allow more hate and violence to spread throughout that I will address at the end. My second point is this. In 2021, 300 Afghan interpreters and translators were hired so that way they could do the job of interpreting languages for soldiers and other military units. And in return, by the US, they would be promised visas to make them and their family members US citizens. Now, what this did was promise a life and, at the time, a better future for them because the Taliban had been hunting down Afghanian. Can't speak. Anyway, so Taliban was hunting Afghanians down, so they needed those visas desperately at the time. But last minute, the US dropped them off at Afghanistan, promising to bring the visas, and they were left to die to be slaughtered with their family. This is an injustice among not just laws, but of human nature, of humanity in of itself, and therefore I think should be taken with more action and seen more of the grand picture, which I will reveal now. Thank you for waiting. Anyway, so hate is what comes from these examples that I've listed. Deportation and Guantanamo Bay and the incident with the Afghan interpreters. Hate is what comes from both of these examples and points to where they create sort of a revenge cycle, similar to how after 9/11, we maximized security measures, and that did massively contribute to deportation. But by doing this, we are massively contributing to trauma and not to mention numerous amounts of PTSD and hatred towards our country. And with the Guantanamo Bay incident, putting innocent children in and leaving Afghan translators to die, this all inspires hate, which could inspire them to make sort of a payback maneuver and want to go back against us. So in conclusion, deportation should be thought should be ended, and a different solution should be thought of so that way it can contribute to a better America, a more peaceful and safe world free of hate. And this all applies to the four-way test because it is truthful, it is fair to all concerned, it is beneficial, and finally, it will build goodwill and better friendships. So.
And finally, our last student. Where is he? Oh, there you are. Come on up. Sorry. I was looking for your black jacket.
Hello, my name is Blake Greenwall, and I am here to talk about what I think is probably a more general topic than what has been discussed previously, but I think probably could apply to both of what has been talked about before. But it's one of the main issues with modern world, which is how we have overemphasized individuality and competition and de-emphasized community and cooperation. So I would like to first ask whether humans in like the prehistoric world, did they hunt on their own? Did they take down a mammoth by their own two hands? Nothing else, nobody there to help them. No. They took them down with the help of a tribe, with the help of a community. When the pharaohs built the pyramids, did they just walk up and start placing bricks and bricks on their own? No, they got thousands. They got thousands of people to collaborate on a massive project that would be seen thousands of years later. When we put a man on the moon, did that guy just become Superman and fly all the way up there? Or did he have a team of people who put him in a rocket? Well, he had a team of people who put him in a rocket. So if we have all of these things, why does our society seem to emphasize the idea of a self-made man or the individual so much when we have accomplished all of these great things, not on our own, not as self-made men or women, not as individuals, but as a culture, as a community? You see this, how it influences everything, this idea. We look at someone starving on the street and we all put it up to individual choices, right? We all emphasize all these issues that are massive, communal, and all are part of our society, and we chalk them up to individual actions, individual choices. If someone succeeds, we say that it was a matter of individual actions and individual choices, when actually it was a community of people that got them there. So if we want to look at the truth of the situation, well, we can say that most of the problems in the world and most of the things, anything that's done in the world is done through community and through cooperation. So if we want to fix anything with the world, we have to start taking this lens. Now, for an example of I think an area where our emphasis on individualism has run rampant, I like to look at something pretty banal. I'm going to interact with you guys here. Raise your hand if you showed up here in a car. So pretty much everyone in this room. This wouldn't have been the norm about 100 years ago, maybe probably even less than that. And if you look at a lot of the issues in our modern transportation system, it's because we emphasize this individual thing of a car versus a communal thing like a bus or a train. For example, in the city of New York, if you literally paved over the entire thing with highways or roads or whatever, it would not be enough to contain all of the traffic that city generates. But a bus can hold about of the same amount as tens of cars, right? Especially a train can hold even more. So if you want to solve this issue, you need to stop looking at the individual thing of cars and look at the communal thing of buses and trains. Would communal transport, or for example, or community in general, be beneficial to all involved? I can't think of a single thing more beneficial to everyone than everyone cooperating in a community rather than all focusing on our own individual struggles and issues. If you look at any problem in society is usually created by a group, then it can be solved by a group. Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Certainly. If you have a stronger community, then you have a stronger community. People will be more connected. People will be more friendly. People will be better. It would make just a better world. And would it be fair to all concerned? I think more so than how we currently view things. If we view things purely as individual struggles, we're missing a large part of the picture. And there's a room for individual action and individual choices, but we have to look at the broader picture if we want to fix things and make things better. Thank you. This was my speech.
We're going to have our judges, timekeeper, and tabulator go out into the foyer there, and we'll work on getting this. And President Rachel will introduce the students to you and where they're from, what they're planning to do with their future, all the good stuff.
Actually, I'm going to have the kids come up here. If you would come back up front, and I'll let you introduce yourselves. So come on up. Since it was sort of a mystery of what school you're from and all of that, why don't we go in same order? If you would, you can go ahead and go up to the mic and tell us what school you're from, your name, your grade, and what your future plans are.
Okay. Well, my name is Gavin Guyette. I go to St. Mary's School, and I'm a senior, which means the college hunt is well underway. So yeah, I would love to major in business. So right now it's kind of for me in between Pepperdine and Santa Clara University. Right now it's like whoever gives me the most money, you know. But yeah, so college is in the future, and someday I'd love to own my own business and be an entrepreneur.
Awesome. And Gavin, did you bring some guests with you today? If you want to introduce your guests, because
I
didn't
did.
get to do that in the beginning.
I brought my mom, Crystal, and my dad, Brian, who are here.
Welcome, Crystal and Brian. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
My name is Tallen Ruff. I'm a freshman in South Medford High School. And as you saw, I have some work to do with my speech and debate skills, specifically memorization, as you saw. And so I mainly, with my goal, I would like to just dedicate to the cause and find whatever that needs to be fixed, because in my nature. And so, and my future plans are to major in psychology one day. So that is me.
Awesome. And did you bring a guest with you today? You want to introduce your guests?
I brought my father, Eric Ruff.
Welcome.
Yeah. All right.
Welcome.
Hello, that was too close. My name is Blake Greenwall. I'm a sophomore from Logos Public Charter School. I want to, pipe dream is I get a degree in political science at Georgetown University in DC. Less of a pipe dream is I might get a degree in archaeology or anthropology in Oregon University. I brought with me my sister. We a little bit rushed to get here today because I might have forgotten this was today. But I think it ended up working out. So thank you for having me.
We're glad you made it. Welcome. Okay, so you guys can take a seat while the judges finish tabulating. And then I believe Claudette wants to make another quick announcement.
Okay, if we could have our 3 students up here. In 3rd place is Tallen Ruff. Tallen, I didn't bring your stuff. Which school are you from? I'm sorry. South Medford High. I heard you are a freshman though, correct? We expect to see you back then. Thank you. 2nd place was Blake Greenwell. Okay. And on behalf of Medford Road Rotary, Gavin will be presenting at the district conference. So be there to say yay for him. And Gavin's a senior, so he won't be joining us again, but hopefully you guys will.
Fun though.
Yes, this is not his first one. Real quick, thank you to our judges, Jessica, Stephanie, who we realize is in our club. No, I'm kidding. Tim Chesley. Our timer was Paul Christie, and Carol Neal did all the tabulating. So thank you so much for volunteering for that.
All right. Thank you, Kelly, and thank you and congratulations to our students. So amazing. You're so brave to get up here and do that in front of all. I still get nervous and I'm up here every week. So very proud of you and excited to see you represent our club at the district conference. So as a thank you for being our program today, our club sponsors a smart reader program. And so today, if you would please sign the inside of this book, Gracie Brings Back Bubby's Smile. If you would sign the inside of this book, then we will donate it on your behalf to the Smart Readers program. So if you can sign right here. Yep, just give it a little signature there.